Good guys, my name is Lord Tomo, as you probably already know, and we have good old Sonic the Hedgehog who just full on tackled the Sackboy. Why would you do such a horrible thing? Obviously you probably can tell the Sackboy isn't too pleased about what's going on. Anyway, we're going to put these guys aside because and let them sort out their own issues. Not our problem. Alright guys, here for another review. As you can probably read from the title, this one's pretty interesting in its own right. As you probably, if you ever watched one of my previous videos and whatnot, I'm not a huge fan of collecting Sonic the Hedgehog pins. Nothing personal against it, nothing against anybody who does it. Just for me, I don't know, it doesn't really strike much interest in my heart. However, this one came around and I figured, you know what, it's a nice piece I suppose, might as well just get it. It is a good old Sonic the Hedgehog, or in this case, a Sonic 3 Special Edition pin set. Now, it is a interesting little item, if I must say, in its own right. So I'll give you a little backstory for this before we get to the actual contents, box, etc, etc. This is, as you can probably imagine, to correlate the game, the initial game that was released, which is a Sonic the Hedgehog 3 for the good old Genesis if you're in the US, and Mega Drive if you're in Australia, which obviously probably was. And as far as I'm aware, this was more or less a kind of promotional item. I don't know whether or not this came in the actual game itself. I never saw it when I was a kid, so I can't really say much as that. I don't know if it was in the US. I know this was a promotional thing or promotional item at the time. I don't know if it came with the game as a pre-order. I don't think it even had pre-orders back then. I'm guessing maybe they did. I'm not entirely sure. As a kid, I never bought my Sega Mega Drive. It was my parents, so love them for that. So I'm going to assume, just for argumental sakes, this was more or less a promotional item, an item that was more or less released in conjunction with the game. It only stands to reason, you know, it's a special edition pin set, so it kind of falls into the whole it is. This was released, if I'm not mistaken, 1994-ish, when the game initially came out. Yes, 1994, 1993, 1994, thereabouts, depending on what part of the world you're from. Nice little pickup, extremely little nice pickup. Already I'm starting to dig the overall purple aspect of the actual box itself. It does have, my one is a little bit worn out, so you know you can't expect much of it. But if we look closely at the front, we can already start seeing the purple, and it's kind of giving that 3D inner box push effect if you look at around the borders, which actually gives a pretty nice vibe to it. I'm not a big fan of pink, never was, never will be. That's my personal interest, so obviously my opinion on that is just a tad biased. But in a way, it kind of works, it kind of stands out. I just don't know why they didn't keep it, you know, consistent throughout the whole box. Small bit nitpick, but it is. Obviously, you know what it is, it's Sonic 3, pretty awesome. On the actual sides, you have obviously minor little boxes. This one, in this case, it looks like it's indented, pulling inside. And it's got obviously the term or the word here, Sega. I'm guessing this box is trying to go for the overall metallic feel, which is quite ironic in a way because this is actually a purple item. You would imagine this would be more greys and those sort of colours, but that's there. On the other side, it's exactly the same. On the bottom, it's exactly nothing, and also on the top and underneath, it's got what it is. It's a special edition pin set. Overall, it is a nice box. It is kind of, I'll say meh. Like I said, my opinion on this is a little biased, as you know, I'm not a pin set collector, but it has character. It really does. For the most part, it actually has a decent little vibe to it. I don't know, something special. Something impulsed me to buy this initially when I first got it. So I was just like, there had to be something as a kid when I got this, which sold me on it. I don't know what it was. I was a kid back then. I was high on stuff, I suppose, on candy. But that's the actual box itself. It is pretty nice. It is pretty much a two-part piece. You open it up, you close it up, pretty simple. And there's absolutely nothing underneath there. Now, this is the actual pin itself. This actually contains 3 pins, which makes up the special edition pin set. You have good old, I'll bring this in as close as possible. You have good old Sonic the Hedgehog jumping towards us, if you can say that, with one finger giving us the little nod. I guess that's his little trademark, amongst others. And obviously he's got his 3 fingers, signifying Sonic 3. You have Knuckles, which obviously has to be part of the pin set, because Knuckles is, as you can imagine, one of the new characters that appears in the game. And you have the little logo there, Sonic 3, which is standard. So the actual pin set itself, in its full entirety, is obviously the box and the 3 pins. Something that I found interesting, which I don't know why they would, but they added like a kind of a 2-parter in a way. So that's that, and there's like another little cellophane down there. I can only imagine the reason they did this is for one of 2 reasons. They were going to release maybe more pins, therefore they wanted people to basically, grab the other piece and put their own pins there. Or since the actual mechanics of them holding, which is obviously the pin, pushes onto the actual foam itself, a thicker foam won't actually work. Which actually begs the question, if that was the case, which I don't think so, but if that was the case, why not just make the box smaller? I don't know. Now the pins itself, I'll bring them as close as again and talk a little briefly about them. The pins themselves are pretty awesome in their own right. They're very, I think they're referred to as emerald sort of pins. It's kind of like hard steel, very well articulated not articulated, but very well sculpted in its own essence. Obviously, you can't expect back then, and it is a nice thing. Knuckles by far is probably my most favorite in the whole Sonic universe-ish. Besides Sonic, Knuckles comes more to my heart than any other character really. As I can relate more to him, more or less. Weird, I know. So that's Knuckles. He kind of looks like a demonic sort of character, which I'll see. Yeah, it kind of works. So they are pretty much well designed, very well sculpted in its own essence. It is a pin set. You can't expect really much back then. So look, the overall item itself is a nice catch. Now, as May mentioned, it was released more or less 1993, 1994, kind of to, I guess, promotional item for Sonic the Hedgehog 3, which is always a bonus. Now, the infamous rarity and price. I've seen these pins, and I've seen a lot of these pins. The pins themselves are pretty, I've seen them for like $15 a piece. So that probably equates to what? 15, 30, 45 just for the pins itself. I've only come across the box itself. You can even check it out if you type in on eBay or Google, whatever, Sonic 3 Special Edition. An actual set like this was actually sold for about $80. I know, pretty impressive, eh? Mind you, that was like a few years ago if I read the listing correctly. So it's actually quite the interesting little piece pickup. So it does have its merits and gold. It does have its value in its own right, which I can understand. Obviously, if you're a pin collector or if you're just into Sonic pins, it does have its value, which is always a bonus, I suppose. I got my piece for originally, if I'm not mistaken, $50. I picked it up. So yeah, it's I found at the time it was decent. Obviously, the value is going up significantly, so I'm quite pulled back by the whole. Okay, it's has value, I suppose. Not that I'm going to sell this anytime soon, but it's interesting to know. So you are looking roughly about for the full complete set, $80 thereabouts. Australian dollars, US I think is a little more. Pounds is £40, I think. Don't know. As for every other country whatnot, look, I have no hopes there. So yeah, it is a difference. So rarity, look, I'm going to probably have to put this maybe at 7.5 stars, thereabouts, 7 stars out of 10. Simply because the pins themselves are easy to find. However, in its box, it's harder to find, so the scale will have to go up and down. Look, it is definitely a nice pickup. I recommend you guys, obviously have a look at it if you're into pins and into Sonic. Once again, guys, thank you for tuning in and obviously watching another one of my reviews. If you want to leave a comment or request any reviews, by all means, hit me up. I'm more than happy to find it and obviously talk about it, as this is what I'm doing on a weekly basis. Alright guys, thanks again and speed on.